That's my driver.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
No, not at all.
Mark.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Live.
Yes, we are live.
Y'all have your mic on so we can get you y'all put your mic on.
Yeah, no, I was also trying to share the live as we was getting ready.
Oh.
So but I'll be good. I'll sit it down.
Welcome to the most chaotic intro at MomoCon.
Amen.
Probably the most chaotic panel at MomoCon.
All right, what's up, everybody on PopTech? I'm here with the press of Blerd,
Mm.
MomoCon.
Mm.
Because it's Mark fault.
Right.
Yeah, Mark fault again.
That's cool. We can play Mark.
I played Mark all my life.
Wow.
Oh, so
You're not gonna defend yourself?
Let them have it.
so from my left to right, I want you to introduce yourself and what press outlet you represent.
Okay. My name is Mac Jenkins, and I am with the Moana Nui Podcast Network.
My name is Mark Leary. I am representing Blerdography.
I am Carnell Holly, representing Carnell Holly Pictures.
I'm Montel Thompson. I'm the creator of Navy Montel, the host and creator of the Blurred Corn Combos.
And I am James Herndon, also representing the Moana Nui podcast.
All right. So my first question to y'all is, how did y'all find your names? Because as press, you have to give a name that stands out. So, how'd you find your names from left to right?
How do we find our name?
For your outlet.
Oh, okay. I was like, because I was given mine at birth.
I'm gonna let you know now. This is the question.
You got the right bookends for this whole thing, I'm telling you. Literally, the Moana Nui bookends, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, yeah. I didn't even
Good
notice that.
Lord, I want my kale pectate. I done made that claim. I'm gonna be regular for this. Don't do it
Okay, first of all, I'm actually behaving right now.
Oh,
for now.
left to right.
So I am friends with with one of the owners and administrators of the Moana Nui podcast. And through some conversations that she and I had, I became a part of the network, hosting co-hosting a couple of shows on the network.
My name came about because I cannot spell correctly. Just being honest, I couldn't figure out how to spell Blerdography. It's supposed to be an A and not an O, and I already paid the logo guy to make the logo, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just stick with it.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Mine came about. It's pretty much it's not the government, but it's a family name, and so since when people find out the whole family lineage or whatnot, I just went with that because it stood out. People said, "Oh, that's unique." All right, and I just added the pictures right behind it.
For me, it was pretty easy. I'm retired Navy, so I did it for 20 years. And after trying to look at everyone else's name and go, no, that doesn't work. There's too many periods. There's too many exclamation points. Why is there a dash between your first and last name? I said, okay, I'm in the Navy. My name is Montel. Keep it simple.
And again, Moana Nui came about because the proprietors of the network are Hawaiian natives. So Moana Nui means water connects loosely. So which incorporates a lot of the shows that we have. They're not just nerd culture, but content content representative of Hawaiian natives and people of the Pacific Islands as well.
So we all are press people. Well, how would you describe your content for your platform? Because we all do press, but how would you kind of describe, like, you know, how and we do our applications, they ask us what we do. So describe what you do.
Well, for the shows that I co-host on the Moana Nui network, one is a sports podcast. The other is kind of a generic what you're watching, whatever movies and TV shows we're currently watching. And it was, I actually don't know that there was a conversation. How did that come about, James?
Which one?
What you're watching in the sports show?
The sports show came about because we were a part of another
Yes.
sports, primarily football podcast, and that had ended its run because the creators over there pretty much stepped down. They had other jobs that took away from the production side of things while I was hosting Moana Nui Network, because again, I know one of the proprietors of the channel. We connected, and she offered a spot for me to continue doing my show, but I want to do more rounded stuff, not just football, because I like sports. I know other people who like sports, and I wanted to expand from just beyond football. Yes, we do still talk about football a lot, but and then like I said, the other shows are what you're watching, and then there's another show that I would contribute to called This Story, in which we talk about the history of not just America, but of civilization in general, as far as how we got to where we are in the world that we live in today. So, and like I said before, there are some shows as well that speak to what's going on in Hawaii with the Hawaiian culture and current things that are affecting the people and the government and laws out there as well.
And there's also one other factor. There's another member of the press who's sitting in the audience that she sits in on some of our shows and helps to keep it not just grounded in nerd culture, but she helps us keep it well-rounded so that it's nerd culture plus culture. Yay! Yay! She was in frame. Yay!
All right, so I guess for me, I like just interviewing people and just getting to know who they are. My channel kind of created itself once I started just doing press, and I can't really believe how much doing press has shaped my channel. But I like to dig into like why people are nerds or geeks, especially if they are BIPOC, person of color, Black people in general, and give them a platform to talk about themselves and share their stories. And in the process, I learn a lot about myself and why I had to deal with certain things growing up in X, Y, and Z. And since then, the channel just kind of spiraled into a channel about exploring diversity within the blurred space, within the nerd space, and just being a platform for other people to springboard and launch themselves into the content creation.
All right. Should try to follow suit. So basically, with my diving into the whole YouTube space, I guess by nature I'm a filmmaker. So early on with my YouTube channel, I was experimenting with filmmaking, doing music, um, talking to people, and trying to figure out what's my niche per se, because I'm just like I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, but not really trying to master if necessary. But a buddy of mine who was really into the whole YouTube and had the followers, and I'm trying to like, what do I need to do? And he basically told me it's just like the way my channel looked early on was basically like if you're a fan of Carno Holly, this is the place. But to really hone in on something, I realized early on with my channel, I was already talking to people, interviewing. And so I'm like, oh, well, I mean, let's double down on this. So basically, I went more in depth with the interviews and adding in with the reviews of movies and shows of that nature in a nerdy space.
Y'all expect me to follow that? Okay, fine. My content started about 13 years ago. I noticed that on YouTube, I saw a lot of content, but not content from people in our generation, of our age, the Schoolhouse Rock generation, Saturday morning cartoon cathedral generation. And I said, I wanted to create a channel where you have a voice that's been there and explored it. We could talk about the different cartoons, things like that, but it transmogrified from there. And then it started changing into having conversations with other creators and other blurs and, talking about their life experience and their life journeys. It's always about elevating and just saying, hey, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can love what you love and don't let anyone stop you. So I try to be as much of a, dare I say, a crusader for that. and I try to uplift everyone. So my channel is a reflection of who I am, along with my Instagram.
All right, so we're all press outlets, they're independent. Have you had any struggles from being independent and not being under a bigger network or a umbrella?
No,
How much time do you have?
Define struggle. Define struggle.
Mark, you're giving Cliff Notes, bro. I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. I'll
You
give
give it
it
Cliff Notes, and you get 2 sentences and a period. That's all you get. That's all you get.
Okay. All right. What's the question again?
Oh my.
I would be asking this.
No, I
question.
got it. I got it.
Wow.
I would be serious. Like, what was it?
No, we did. We
He
did.
did. Yeah.
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 Yes.
Soon as he saw you leaving, okay, good, she's gone.
My God, they didn't even wait until
Okay. All right. Let me answer the question. Okay. Yes, I should.
Sean Louis, how's it working? as independent?
Let Mark finish.
Let him finish.
Started.
Let him finish.
That's how it gets started. I got you though. All right.
Oh God.
Sorry.
No.
It's really messed up. We're friends. All right.
Are you? Are you?
Are we?
That's gonna be a friendly power driver
Frenemies.
after this.
Frenemies. Frenemies.
Okay. No, I can't put you in. All right. Yes, I struggle as a content creator. Period. The struggles are consistent editing, posting, building a team of people around you who you can trust and help you come to these type of things to divide and conquer. I struggle with all that. That's fine. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I concur. So with basically the same thing. My thing, I think it's more so. Would it be logistical or technical?
How about both?
Technical. Yeah, I think it's both. Because thinking that I always needed a camera person, and in which my wife was my camera person, and then transitioned out of that to where it's just me, one man show, and putting me in a position where I had to learn other skills along with learning editing and learning framing because she's a photographer, and I'm just like wanting to lessen everything on my plate in order to get things out in a timely manner. It's just like, oh man, well, like how to do this, and then figure out myself as far as like what image do I want to display on camera. It's just like I said, a lot of mental gymnastics. But currently it's more so I think a timing to where to figure out the workload, because I still have content from years ago, still have to edit and put out, but it's in the process.
You're not the only one. So if you see like a MomoCon 2021
Right.
video,
It's
don't
coming.
get mad if you see it in 2028. That's all I'm saying.
Want to say something?
I think you're looking at me since it's my.
Yeah,
I
do,
know.
we don't have to.
I'm gonna come back here.
Okay. So right now we have,
Am I out of frame?
No, you're fine.
No, she's good. She's good. She's good.
yeah, you good now. So this is, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dana. Y'all saw me earlier, like yesterday. I am the other half of the Moana Nui podcast, also the executive producer for the Moana Nui network, since we've been upgraded by the lovely gentleman on my far right. So we're the Moana Nui network now. But as far as issues go, one thing I'm grateful for is we did lean in with these two gentlemen right here to be part of our network and really build out some of our content. They also assist me with obtaining content at the conventions, especially ones that I'm working, because I don't have the ability to do that. I do have to edit the a lot of our recordings. So, and then posting on social media, which I'm hoping to get money that I can hire somebody to do my social media for the show. But I think because I was able to lean into the talents for the folks that I did know in my own network and in my own circles, I think that helped our show grow to where we are now. And then I think our biggest, outside of those things, is there's still this conceived notion that a lot of our media outlets and press outlets have to have numbers and versus quantity and quality. And we have the quality and the great content, but a lot of conventions and other places, if you don't have a minimum of 5,000 followers or more on your each platform, they won't allow you to be a press outlet covering their event. So I think that's where that separation needs to happen, that it should be the quality of the content over who has the most followers, because I've seen people with million followers, but will only get 30 views on their videos from a convention. So how's that helping that convention, even though they have a lot of followers? So
That part.
that's me, and I'm out.
Bots. They're
amazing what the wallet.
bots.
What she said.
I do want to say, since Dana just left, first of all, just thank you, Dana, so much, because
Yay!
yeah, none of this would have been possible without Dana. And the fact that Dana gives the same level of effort, time, and energy to not only me, but every single one of us up here, every single one in the audience, everyone in the next room. She's like our personal press con whisperer. She will tell you in the nicest way possible you're messing up and how to improve, and she'll make it feel like it's your idea. And I think that's the best way of how to get people to do stuff. Go ahead.
Right. I was like,
Okay, so maybe it's just me.
You know what I'm saying? Right. All right. I'm not in that boat.
No.
Hey, but whatever. I appreciate it.
Nah.
Thank you, Dana. Because without you, Blerdography, I'd be sitting here right now.
It shows growth. I mean, that's if you want to grow, you gotta listen.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I get it. I know you.
You two, I'm gonna need y'all.
It's like
Yeah.
Tommy and Dill fighting all over again.
With the diapers too.
How's it being independent?
Honestly, it's only challenging when you start losing identity in what you're trying to create, because there's always this chase to be recognized, to be acknowledged. And some people will start out on a genuinely positive track, but then they'll look around and they'll see other people getting these numbers, but they're seeing how they're doing it. So they'll start changing their content to try to identify with that journey. And I said, that's not what I'm all about. I've never been about that. Numbers, followers, none of that has mattered to me, because I still remember that one kid sitting on his grandmother's porch reading Black Panther #1 and getting bullied. And I said, that kid will never have to live through that again as far as I'm concerned. So my identity and what I create, there's never a challenge. The only challenge is when these basement virgins come out of nowhere and tell me that I'm not doing anything worthwhile. And I'll ask, where's your mother? Because all kids need a parent. So where's your mother?
All right, so Dan brought up a good point about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Are numbers important because we're independent, and so do you feel like you have to be a certain number? Your numbers matter.
No.
No.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just real quick, because it to me, I'm like I think I know where your mindset is when it comes to numbers. Like I'm thinking in terms of when it comes to the show business. You know, like I want to do my thing, but still keeping that business mindset. Like numbers, I don't want to quote Jay, but you know, like it makes sense to have a certain amount, but what Dana mentioned before is making sure that you come with the quality, and the numbers will follow if you know being consistent and whatnot, but still keeping in mind like the trajectory of where I want to go, and basically pacing myself for the milestones or whatnot, but keeping in the mindset.
Mark, do you worry about numbers?
I was just gonna be quiet on this one, but The only number I really pay attention to is that viewer duration, because that lets me know, am I keeping my potential audience's attention? That's really the only number I pay attention to. Subscribers, watch hours, view counts, likes, those are nice. They help, but viewer duration, because if you drop off at 4 or 5 seconds and my intro is only 10 seconds, that lets me know I need to shorten my intro or start with cold openings or figure something else out to keep that retention span there.
Now, since y'all work together on different pieces, do y'all worry about y'all pieces having certain numbers?
I actually have no idea what our numbers are. I make it a point to share the videos out to all our socials. I try to make sure, and I tell people, we're doing the show. I try to make sure everybody I know knows about the show and to get them to watch. The thing that I kind of lean a little bit more towards is, what kind of engagement do we have during our live show? Because that to me feels like a more impactful number. But again, do I know how many people have subscribed, the likes? I don't have a clue. But like I said, I also don't go look for that, because again, I'm looking at that engagement while we're actually hosting the show. Now, the post-show engagement, if somebody watches the show, 2 or 3 days later, that's nice too. But to me, there's just something that feels a little bit better about the interaction while we're hosting the show.
I'll piggyback off the latter part of that. I will go back on YouTube and check our watch numbers after we've done a live. And yeah, sometimes during a live, we may have engagement depending on what we're talking about. For like, if we're talking about what you're watching, for example, two different shows, like a movie or a TV show, whatever we talk about first may have the most engagement, and the second thing, so we strategically talk about certain things last, because we know that people are coming to engage with us, talk about that certain thing. And it may not be a lot, and maybe 10, 15, 20 people doing the live or whatever, 3 or 4 engaging with us in conversation. But then a couple of days later, I'll check YouTube and it's upwards of almost like 100 views on the video. So I'm more so happy with who's watching the videos after they post to YouTube, because I know that a lot of my friends who I reach out to and say, hey, I'll post on IG, I'll make sure it gets to threads, I'll live stream on, from Moana Nui to my own personal page on Facebook while we're doing the live, just so folks know. And they may not see it at that point, but they know it's up there and they'll go back and watch it later. So I'm more comfortable looking at the numbers after we've done the live to see how many people have watched it. And I've seen that number tick up significantly over the next few days when we drop it. So.
All right, so you have mostly Black men here. We have Nana. But
Mostly?
we're not sure about you.
Wow.
Oh, why?
It's just going from bad to worse. Good grief. Wow. Wow.
Something
Yo.
we said about a dead horse being kicked, but she.
Oh, damn.
Wow. So y'all see it's not me, right?
I've never heard something in my eyes hurt. What is that? Wow.
I say we, handle him after the show is over.
Please do.
All right, we can.
That superpower to yeet people into space.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
That you talked about the other.
I'm just saying.
So again, as Black men,
Thank you.
do you feel pressure because we are basically a minority for income? We have to get it. We have to work. You have to work harder as Black men to be noticed.
Yes, 100%. Not only like just outside of creating content, we're Black men in America. Just about everyone in this room is Black, and we all know as Black people in this country, we've already had to work 2, 3, 4 times harder as somebody else just to prove our worth. But now that we're in this content creator space, you would think just for the fact that we're men, this will come naturally, but it doesn't. The one thing I've learned on the internet over the last couple of years is apparently men, especially Black men, we can't do anything without being judged or ridiculed or called sassy or whatever the case may be for whatever it is that we do. So when you're building an online persona of yourself and like opening up and being kind of vulnerable and just trying to be genuine, and then you invite people into that space to come in, like they can comment on any video unless you cut off the videos. They'll see you. at cons and stuff. I just got stopped by a bunch of people before coming in here that know me, and I'm like, who are any of y'all? Who are y'all? Please tell me. I'm so lost. But like it's I do constantly feel pressure. I do understand most of it is what I put upon myself, but there's a lot of external factors of why I put so much pressure on myself and the content I try to create.
Pressure, yes. Because for the longest time, because I'm one of the oldest people up here, for the longest time, you've been told that this is a white space. I know.
Oh, wow.
Wow, those ceiling tiles are nice.
I said one of the oldest people up here.
Oh,
I didn't say the oldest.
And there's a router. Oh, that's even more amazing. Let me stop.
So again,
How do you get a whole bunch of press together who've been working together for years?
so you get told from the outside that so your geeky interests are a white space, so to speak, and it's like no, but in this day and age, 2025 is like we bring cool to this this niche, if you will, and we've always done it for anything that we've been engaged in. So yeah, there's some pressure, but I mean, that pressure is just to make sure you stand out from anyone else, because you don't want to all seem like you're doing the same thing. We have different personalities. We have different takes and interest on the same thing. We can all do a show about sinners, but we're all going to come at it from different viewpoints. And with Moana Nui podcast that we do, I lead one and contribute on 3 others. So it's like my viewpoints across them all are vastly different. And same with my colleagues who are, we have those like roundtable discussions about things. Our 2 viewpoints are never the same on any show that we do 2 shows together, like you said.
Nope.
We never see rarely see eye to eye, unless it's like a common sense thing, sports wise.
And we've known each other for what, damn near 20 years at this point?
Pretty much, yes.
Pretty close.
So,
Nice.
but we can have those healthy dialogues and agree to disagree. Like, okay, I think I'm right. Well, I think I'm right.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
I don't know about as far as when it comes to pressure. It's interesting because like as far as what was mentioned about the labeling of the space, I know that a older buddy of mine who comes from an era where it's just like very pro-black, and feeling like knowing his position, I was just like, okay, valid, but wanting to create a space that allows conversation and really honing in on the diversity. I would always tell him, this is like I'm on that Obama tip, and really feeling like I don't think there's I'm not feeling any pressure as far as being me in this space. It's one of those situations where like I always felt like being relatable and not I don't know, I would say doubling down, but just giving my opinion, but the way that I've come at it just didn't seem like I'm excluding anybody. I guess you would say like that. No.
I think for me as a Black man, the pressure more so goes generational, because when you hear him talk about the old heads, the young kids have this odd concept that we have no idea what we're talking about, that we don't understand what they're going through. When in actuality, we were the progenitors of the journey. We started this, watching Saturday morning cartoons, playing board games, playing the first video games, Atari 2600, playing Pong, playing ColecoVision and playing Intellivision, and going from there. And the pressure doesn't come from our own. It comes from those who think they know so much and they know nothing. So, and it's not really pressure, because I just look at them and say, what makes you think that you know more? Because you have your TikTok and all of that. We had Encyclopedia Britannica, and we were still knocking people out the ballpark. And if you know, you know. So I don't feel any pressure from anybody younger than me. If anything, it's not even a challenge, because I know that what I'm doing is going to be for that generation that does understand. the one that wants to understand and wants to feel that passion. So that way they don't have to step out and feel like, oh, I'm been ostracized or I don't belong. No. So that's what my platform is all about.
All right, so we at MomoCon. We all been here at least a couple of years.
Unfortunately.
I'm
I'm
trying to behave.
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. My Tourette's is getting really bad. My Tourette's is getting really bad.
Yeah, I don't like
I'm
it.
trying to come back next year. I don't know.
Right, me too.
It's like,
I'm not
it's
worried
like-
about getting fired. I'll be here next year.
I'm already fired.
That's what he said for you.
I've always kind of been the only black man in my job all my professional career. I'm not worried about not being around.
Whoa!
Oh, that's lots of pep right there.
No. I'm saying I'm that confident that I will be back because of what I've had to endure.
No,
in my
I
professional-
get that.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, we
Y'all
got that.
watching this live, don't see the looks on the faces of the people watching behind the camera. You have no idea. These looks range from girl to what?
Yeah.
What was the question?
So, this is the 20th year for MomoCon.
Mhm.
How has this experience this year been for y'all as press?
Ooh.
Oof.
Excellent, actually. Being my second year doing press at MomoCon because last year I got roped in. Thank you again, by the way. 'Cause so true story. This is how I started doing press last year. I got an email because I always planned to come to MomoCon. One of my boys who I went to school with at Morehouse, he normally comes, and I normally link up with him on Saturday, do Sunday, get the weekend pass, call it a day. The week and a half before, I get an email from someone, and it's like, this is the time and place you show up to pick up your press badge. Okay, I'm not complaining. That means free entry into MomoCon, and I just got to do a few interviews. Okay, cool. And last year was a blast. This year was even better because I helped corral some of the interviews we've had this weekend, which was fun. Walking down, getting down on the floor where the vendors are and the artists and mingling, chopping it up with them and checking their availability. And do we have this time available? Okay, cool. So we got you down for today at this time. We got you down for tomorrow at that time. That was probably the best part for me this year of doing press, not so much the interviews, but just getting people to, and corresponding and linking up and exchanging contact information and setting them up for interviews. So, thank you again for that.
This is my first year.
Hmm.
This was my first year coming to Momo, my first year doing press and doing content. And I have to honestly say, I'm very impressed with how everything has gone. Just
Welcome.
Plain bid for all y'all.
I'm still waiting for that KO pectate. Okay.
Blessings, not problems, blessings.
You know what? No, you know what? I'll just take milk of magnesia. I don't want the KO pectate. It ain't working. I still ain't got the bottle that I asked for about an hour ago. Gonna move on to Pepto. Y'all keep this up. I'm telling you.
Well, wait, what was it supposed to be a bottle of?
KO pectate.
Oh, okay.
Anytime you do press for a convention, you never know what to expect. It's been such a smooth process. Having a chance to talk to the creators, the interviews that I've done, and just the camaraderie. The key thing is always camaraderie because sometimes I've seen press be so competitive that you can't get anything done. Instead of saying, hey, let's work together. It's like, no, I got to get this first. I got to talk to Johnny Young Bosch first. Go right ahead. I'm going to catch him by the taco truck, fool. Go right ahead.
Was he in disguise?
Oh, no.
Okay.
He was all Johnny all day. Yes. So for me, yeah, first year, I definitely want to come back and do it again. I think I broke him. This is not what I signed up for, is it, young man? Hurry up, I've got bingo in 30 minutes. They're never going to invite me back.
Oh,
They're
goodness.
never gonna invite me back. I'm telling you.
Oh no, you've got to come back. You have got to come back.
This will not be the same MomoCon without you. You gotta come
You
back.
gotta come back.
Oh shoot, that's funny.
Are you okay?
I will be. I will be.
You need a
And
minute.
it's funny because it's just like so much piggybacking because I'm a Johnny Young Bosch fan, and I could have sworn that I was like, did I see him in the skies with the mask and we locked eyes? I'm like, I don't want to blow up his spot. And it's like, he wants to
You
move,
should have blown
move,
it up.
move, freely. But I didn't know if it was him or not. I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a big Johnny Young Bosch. So, answering your question. No, it's one of those things. Is situation like I don't want to. I don't want to come off as jaded. Like being having the experience to maneuver in the press capacity. This is like Momo Khan home, Dana giving her flowers. It's like thank you. Um, being able to operate because it's just one of those situations where I don't have a team, but still having the option of the camaraderie, but still knowing like can't rely because I was just like you still gotta be able to perform and do your own thing, but just in case there's a possible net to help assist. Um, it's what is because I'm so spoiled by MomoCon to where it's just like what the deal is like things can change as far as the interviews they're not really guaranteed and they preference that things can change so best to be here as early as possible. And I was on the fence about showing up early. I missed the interview, which was on me because I knew about the timing of how to get here and when I should be here. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, take that on the chin. But I mean, MomoCon is home. So I think as far as the mixer part, I really liked due to the fact that I am naturally an introvert and having those icebreakers is like I was talking to JB's not in here, but we were having a conversation and just like openly saying like typically I don't talk to anybody unless I'm comfortable and I'm like I'm already in a comfort state to where I'm just like hey hi okay join us and this and that and just carry on a conversation instead of just being on that one track like the mission is these interviews. Everything else is secondary. I'll put the blinders on. Mission, mission, mission. Uh, after that, maybe play some games, but outside of that, I like
Mm.
this. But for the most part, that is that.
Okay, I felt that. Because he just quickly turned it, and I was like, "Your eyes is on my neck." But for me, I'm gonna be honest. This year, especially after like everything and how chaotic last year was, this year for me, I feel really humbled and blessed. And I don't really say blessed a lot, for reasons, but just this year alone, I gotten to see this seeds I grew 4 years ago grow into a whole garden, and I'm just sitting back eating. Some of the fruit spoiled, that's okay. Use it as fertilizer and move on. But for the fruit that I planted that is ripe for the picking, I have been eating all weekend and I still have so much more to do. I'm so busy that I've missed other things, like small details and stuff because it's just so much going on. I'm running from the NLB hall up to the international thing, a lot out just to go do 2 different photo shoots and then running back to the press room just to get an interview with somebody I've been trying to interview for like 3-4 years now and still missed it, but I will get it because we had a private conversation afterwards and now it went from a 15-minute interview where I get to have like maybe 1 or 2 questions to a whole hour where I get an exclusive and we just talk on my podcast and just have fun. So I've been eating good this con. All the like networks I've been working with over the years, Colonel Holly, Mr. Navy Montel. I've been watching him for the longest time, and just being able to sit here. I didn't mean it like that. I've just been a fan. I've just been a fan. But like, I never thought I'd be able to even have a conversation with some of these people that I'm on the panel with right now. So like, this is fantastic. Thank you, Dana.
Was waiting for you to do it again. Here, soon to get out.
For me, this is my second year doing press. It's either my third or fourth year just helping Dana in some aspect of MomoCon. And I don't think this year being the 20th year really hit me yet. But the thing that I can say is going from year one to year two, I've noticed the improvement in my questions when I'm interviewing when I'm interviewing someone. Because when I did it last year, I won't necessarily say I was timid, but I wasn't sure about what questions to ask. Going into year two, seeing who's on the list, and even some of the people that I had no idea who a couple of the people were. I did a quick search to kind of like, oh, okay, I've seen their work before, but I didn't necessarily know who they were. And it put me in a better position to ask better questions. So that for me has been the biggest thing I've noticed in myself is from year one to year two, just being a better interviewer.
Actually, I have a follow-up question. This is for everybody in the room, but how many of y'all like researched y'all interviewees and the questions this year? Like y'all spent months and months and months. Okay.
This year?
Why is there a red light in my face? Okay. All right. But yeah, okay, I got you.
This year I didn't do it. I'll be honest. Y'all know me. I used to come like a book full of questions for everybody. I had nothing this year.
That's what I wanted to bring up. I also raw dogged it this year, and the reason why is
Wow. That was
Phrasing.
yo.
Phrasing.
I
Yo.
forgot we was live. I'm sorry.
How did you forget we were live?
Right. That part. That
Okay,
part.
I'm sorry.
And it wasn't my fault this time,
Live
okay?
shows so far this week, and just now I forgot we was live. I want y'all to let that sink in.
And aren't these both on your channel?
Look, it's been a long weekend. All right, it's been a long weekend.
Just so,
Saturday.
just so you know, it wasn't my fault. It had nothing to do with it. I've got no choice.
Okay, let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
Dear Lord.
This is not TV. We don't have a 7-second delay.
That's funny.
Why don't you?
Okay, so I did prepare questions this year because, like you said, I used to like spend months leading up to any con just preparing for questions of who I could potentially interview just to never get an interview with them. So I didn't want to spend another 3 months coming up with questions for Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah, I mean that's probably what my mindset as well because I know we have a lot of guests who come here.
Right.
And we're not guaranteed to have
Right.
Yeah, so I guess my head like when they get out of stuff,
Right.
Because
No, go.
like you said, you could prepare
Months.
questions for who you could potentially interview. I learned last year, very like halfway through day one, we don't know who we're going to interview the moment we get here. You know, I try to get here as early as possible so I can watch Dana make up the board of who potentially we have to interview. Then it's like, okay, who else is here? And we ourselves sometimes will try to wrangle guests to come up here if there's space for an interview. So in that case, yeah, if we're bringing the person up, we, you know, may chat with them while we're, you know, trying to get them up here for an interview. But as far as the board goes, it's like, okay, I recognize some names. I know what to ask, and other names, okay, I'll, you know, depending on if I have the time, I'll do a quick Google search, see what they've, you know, see their body of work and ask questions based on that. I know last year, because we're going to have her tomorrow, because I talked to her again, get up here this year, Stephanie Williams, perfect example. It's different this year, but there was a powerlifting set that was literally across from where she was last year. And I knew that she had, you know, done some work for Marvel Comics and everything, and DC Comics as well. And as I was pulling up, you know, seeing what project she was currently working on and what she had recently done, gets her IG feed, she's powerlifting. So while everyone else was asking questions about her, you know, body of work, I'm like, hey, powerlifting.
Yeah, I remember that was
How did you get into that? And then asked her if she, you know, walked across the aisle to the powerlifting and, you know, how much because she had. And like 20 minutes later, she posted a video of her deadlifting like 300-400 pounds. So
Nice.
That's something y'all probably knows that when I did had to look at the questions, I would ask them from completely random. Because I believe when doing interviews, I try to steer away from the common things they get at.
Mm-hmm.
So I go like you said to IG and say,
Yeah.
oh, there's something that you posted. Let me ask them about it.
But sometimes I will counter with that. Sometimes the common questions may be the best questions. JB isn't here, but he's asked it pretty much almost most of the guests that he's been in a room with. What was, your nerd journey? Tell us about your geek nerd journey.
But honestly, that's something different though to me. Because
Yeah, but it's still the
It-
same question
it's
being asked to
different
every single
phrase-
person.
it's different
So
phrasing.
Yeah, I think is like I actually criticized him in the beginning about that because I'm like, it sounds so generic, but as he's built his brand, I get it. I'm like, okay, you're this guy, you are focusing on the journey of being a nerd. So like it's a really good
It's a
question,
good
and it's
question,
something
yes.
that you can just ask anybody, and it's a perfect icebreaker question.
because everyone who sits up here is not going to answer it the same way. And everyone, gets into their craft or their hobbies, their interests differently. So for some of us, it's okay, I was bullied in school. For some of us, this was an outlet because I didn't know how to express myself. So the question, as generic as it sounds, it's still a good question.
Mm.
all right, so we have been friends with multiple celebrities that not just here but at other locations. What would you say is your biggest interview you ever had?
Ooh.
Mm.
Like something you as your young self would never have imagined you doing.
Dragon Con last year, Rikishi. For those who don't know, he is a former wrestler, WWE. His three sons currently wrestle right now, Jimmy and Jay Uso and Solo Sikoa. But he is cousins with The Rock, for anyone who still may not know. But you can find old YouTube videos of him. Was initially the third member of a group called Too Cool. So engaging with him last year, not just about the wrestling aspect, but his Samoan heritage and how that with his family line, because there is a long lineage of not just his family, but just Samoan wrestlers all throughout WWE over the past 60 plus years. Is ridiculous. And, just listening to him talk about that for the little bit of time that we have, what was one of the best interview moments, period.
For me, it was actually two. BlerdCon 2018, 2019, I did a Q&A with Kevin Graveau. Yeah, if y'all know him, he is a scientist, creator, a comic creator, and also starred in Underworld.
Deep voice. Okay.
And he was phenomenal. That was one of the best Q&As because his niece kept coming up, so we made her part of the whole thing. And he thanked me afterwards. I said, "No, that's a Blerd training right there, absolutely." And the second one for me was, I want to say that was BlerdCon 2019. Bo Billingsley, the voice of Jet Black on Cowboy Bebop.
Nice.
That was one of the most incredible because we're both military men, so we connected right on that level, and it was absolutely amazing. Having the chance to talk to someone who has been so influential on a lot of people's anime journey, but then be able to say thank you for what you did because you helped craft my journey into what I like. So that was me. I can hear the wheels. Oh my gosh.
It's not the first time.
Oh, that lie.
You did, apparently.
Bruh. No, I signed off for that when I turned 56.
Mark.
Okay. Yeah. So
I still hear the wheels.
I've had some really interesting interviews. I wouldn't say like I've had like this interview with somebody that I just goshed over anything. I think I've had a lot of important interviews with the discussions that I've had. Like, I just lost it in my head. I've doing presses opened up a lot of doors for me. I've had interviews with Power Rangers. Obviously I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, so you would think that would be my number one fandom, but like answer to your question, but it's not, because I like just having a genuine conversation with somebody and just getting to connect with people on such weird levels. I think MomoCon 2023, we had Koji here. He was here and he was in Battle Royale, which is a book I read religiously in high school. And I said something, I asked him a question, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and blah blah blah, and how he answered it, it was like we were just having a personal conversation. And the other 50 people in the room just disappeared. I've had interviews with Jeter, the voice of Miles Morales. Asked him a question because he's a local Atlanta voice actor. I just asked him a question about Coca-Cola because I'm from Atlanta, and that opened up so many doors. Me and him still talk now just because of that one question. So like, I saw him at Ranger Stop and Pop. He's like, "Oh yeah, you can get the exclusive, nobody else can." So I was like, perfect, thank you. So I like the moments that I connect with my guests versus who the guest is, because I've interviewed Phil Lamar. I got to ask him 2 questions, Stephen Downs and a bunch of other people, but I like connecting with the guests regardless of who they are.
Wait, what was the actual question again?
Like, what interview have you ever done that your younger self would be like in all about?
So it actually has nothing to do with any of the nerd conventions I've ever been to. When I was in college, the engineering society that I was in, I wrote a newsletter, or I had a column in the newsletter. And at one of our national conventions, I got to interview for my column Dr. Mae Jemison, which for those who don't know is she's the first Black woman to go into space. And she's also been on one episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation that I know of. And that has been my most favorite interview that I've ever done. And obviously, everybody are just regular people outside of these wondrous things that everyone does. But it was just really cool getting to talk to her about, her experiences in the preparation for actually going to space and coming back. And it was just a great interview. And then at the party that Saturday night, I actually got to dance with her. So I can say I have interviewed and danced with an astronaut.
Yeah.
Right?
So you have a nice side. So you have a nice side.
Yeah. Have a what?
Nice side.
He's pulling shade on you, man. Come on.
Depending on
A
who it,
nice side.
depending on who it is.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh, bless
Does the
your
wheels
heart.
stop turning?
Yeah, because
Oh,
if he wouldn't have asked the question again, I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, I was in a totally different headspace.
I was in awe. I don't know if it's nice or not, but it's just I was in awe.
That's a different. That is.
All right,
that is a
Cornell.
difference.
What-
No, I got. Oh no, I got it.
You sure?
I got it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
This is your moment.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
heard
blow
the
it.
wheel stop, so obviously he's a
Because if he wouldn't ask the question, I was just like totally different answer. So I guess it would have to be for my younger self. Interviewing Time Out, because Time Out
very nice.
was at a time like so many people would say like you're like a young Bruce Leroy, growing up and meeting him when he came to Atlanta for a way back Wednesday at, I believe, Perimeter. I forget the movie theater over by the park. There was a viewing of The Last Dragon. Got a chance to have a photo op, which I was going to miss until somebody told me. So it's like, you better go get a picture with him. So years later, getting a chance to interview him and being in that space, it was just like, okay, my younger self would be in awe of myself doing this right now to answer that question.
I guess for my answer would be, I interviewed Michael and Thelma Elvins, because I grew up, I'm not old as some of y'all, but
You heard that too, right?
Yeah.
Just
but I watched old shows. I like old shows.
you heard that too, right?
After we
He's
get done.
making,
facts.
he's
When the
making
camera is off, it's a
making eye
wrap.
contact.
It's a wrap.
It's
Yeah.
a wrap.
Step show?
Step
Yeah,
show.
absolutely.
Step show.
Yep.
And I still ain't got my KO pectate. You must be sorry.
Y'all gonna have them pay you. But
Too late.
but I watched all the old shows, like Good Times, Green Acres. This, cause my grandma, I would watch shows with her, of course, the stories and stuff. But then, as a child, you don't think about you don't ever see these people, and especially with me being that young, and the show was actually after I was born. Like I never thought I would be in the same realm as them.
Right.
And so to be in that same realm as them, and then be able to sit there with them and ask them questions, and they respond and they give genuine answers. Like you can feel the energy from them. It just felt like I grew up watching you. Like and now you're like these adults. Like you just whole different mindset, you know? But in your head, you still see them as your child sees them. Your child mind sees them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Not gonna lie, Thelma looks great.
Yes.
It does.
Keep it up, girl. Keep it up. Keep it up, girl.
But it's so it's like so I tell people a lot about imposter syndrome, which I talked about last night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have that feeling? Like I have that feeling whenever I do interview anybody. Because again, in my mind, I'm still a little boy in some country who just look at y'all on TV, who I shouldn't be in the same airspace as you. Like, do you ever feel like imposter syndrome just to be doing anything press wise?
Honestly, no.
I would like you to answer that question first. When he asked that question, you gave a very distinctive shake of your head, like absolutely not. And I would like to know why you didn't.
The reason why is because people are people. Your status, you've worked hard to get to that point. That's great. But at the core, you're a human being. I'm not going to be that just in awe of who someone is because of where they've come. We're sitting at the same table. We're having the same conversation. I want to know about your journey, your life, and what you've done. I want to see the human being come out straight up because people put so much in celebrity, they forget that this image has been created. What about the person behind the image? And that's all I care about. So I'm not going to have an imposter because I know who I am. I want to know who you are. And that's why they will never hire me at CBS.
I won't say imposter syndrome, and my cohort in the audience witnessed this earlier today. I have had
Oh boy,
fanboy moments, even at this age, which keep telling myself I would never have them unless I met, two distinct people who most of my friends know who they are. But Catherine Sutherland and Nakia Burris are downstairs, and I'm sorry, Nakia Burris is a wonderfully beautiful person. I'm getting choked up and teary-eyed talking about it.
You froze like an antelope in head.
oh wow.
And I get the same way with Karen Ashley. Yeah, Karen Ashley was the same way several years ago at Dragon Con. If I ever meet, and I'm blanking on her name right now, Yellow Time Force Ranger, it'll probably be the same thing. Though those three are definitely my favorite Rangers in all of Power Rangers shows. So yeah, having met two of the three of them, yeah, I did freeze.
Okay.
All three are going to be at RSP this week. All three of them will be at RSP in 2 weeks,
Don't remind me. I mean, I'm going to be there because it's the last one. I mean, I follow all three of them on social media, so I am familiar with Nakia and Catherine's YouTube channel. I've checked out several of their videos that they posted on Instagram and everything. And look, I have met them before, but just standing in front of them, just having a conversation, is totally different when other people are around you than just being there one-on-one. Because I was not there by myself, but I felt like I was there by myself. So
He was with me. I had to pull him away because they had people lining up trying to actually do business.
there was no other people there. We were having a conversation. At least I was stammering over my words.
Can I piggyback off of what he said really quickly? That reaction right there is what it's all about when you meet someone who's had an impact on you in some way, shape, or form. And some people will gloss over that because they think, oh, well, this person's famous. No, if you had a childhood, if you had something in your life that and someone that you see on TV and you admire what they do and you have the opportunity, that is an effect on you that is lifelong. So I know exactly how this man feels. 25 years ago, I got to meet Bill Cosby.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
When I tell you, I stood there and I cried. And that man said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Sir, you're the reason why I can make people laugh and not curse. So I thank you for that." So I feel that, bro.
Thank you.
Next victim. My bad. I'm sorry. Tourette's. Sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Imposter syndrome.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
I didn't want to say it.
We've been
You're right.
from one end to the
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I
this is
hear
true.
the wheels,
This is
y'all. I
true.
hear the wheels.
Do they
This
need?
is-
Do the wheels
No,
need
it-
any oil?
No, it just lets you know that
It's
that I'm
WD-40
actually
that
thinking.
goes-
I'm thinking about this and not just being.
I got it. I got it from here. So, like I mentioned last night, I do suffer from imposter syndrome. I have a friend, Chris Dunn. He runs Geek Done Right. He was the videographer for Ranger Stop and Pop for so many years.
It's on YouTube.
And he's on the YouTube. I didn't know because I'm not watching it, but like Done Right, me and him every Monday, every Tuesday when I'm off work, call each other up in the morning. Hey, I don't feel like I've done enough, or I feel like, I don't belong. And we just got to constantly tell each other, you did this, this, and this. These are your accomplishments. Please believe in yourself. And we literally have those conversations twice, 3 times a week. Yeah.
Thank you.
But like especially like with Chris Dunn, he's done so much.
Yeah.
And for him to tell me, hey, I don't think I can do it. Stop. You're the reason why I'm still doing this. So if you quit, what am I doing?
You're gonna keep going.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna keep going, but like you got to keep motivating everybody that you're collabing with and working with. Just I've seen him work so hard just for him to feel that way. And then he's told me the same thing. Like, dude, I've seen you run around MomoCon. You made a documentary or making a documentary. You're doing X, Y, and Z. Believe in yourself too. And I just gotta be like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I believe in myself. I'm good. So I constantly fight myself to tell myself I belong when I constantly also fight myself to tell myself that I don't. So yeah, like you said, somebody said yesterday, I'm a walking oxymoron. There you go.
Okay, I mean, I was ready. I was ready, but okay.
You ready?
I was already ready.
The wheels are wheel freewheeling.
You know what I'm saying? It's that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. As far as imposter, no, because I think in the situation is for. I've always had a knack for talking to people. So for me to be able to connect on a personal tip, it's never been like oh man, I'm like I gotta figure out how to act or whatnot because I've been in different situations that aren't even pertaining to press, but not it was just to piggyback of what you said. I was just like people are people, and I've always had that mindset. So when I'm in that frame of mind of switching on because I'm naturally an introvert, but switching over to the extroverted side to be able to execute those mental gymnastics to talking to people. It's just like it comes off as natural because one of the situations, buddy of mine was listening to a video as I was talking to him. It was just like the same voice, and it's like, was I hearing things like knowing that the same person that you see on the internet is the same person that you see in person. So there's no deviation of personalities. It's just maybe turning up the energy just a little bit more. And not definitely not taking myself seriously. There was just like, ah man, because normally I'll be like, all right, let me so, but like no. I like this. Very appreciative, but definitely never felt like um, not belonging. Just feeling that I need to keep working harder to be better and keep being my worst critic.
I want to say something about Carnell Holly pictures for 1 second. I do that because I keep pronouncing his name, so every time he tells me
Okay.
this Carnell,
Card.
yeah. So that's why I gotta keep doing that. I've been knowing you for a couple of years now, and the one thing that you do that I am just floored over because I'm like, I don't understand how it's so hard for me. But when I see you on camera and you interact with a guest, I know we're joking about the wheel turning thing. That's true behind the scenes, but in front of the camera, you are like this befuddledly awkward but charismatic person.
Mm.
And like your interviews are so engaging, just like because I'm like, I see the wheel turning in the video, but you turned it into something that works with the person you're interviewing. So every time you drop a new interview, I'm like, how's he gonna do it this time? And I'm not trying to be funny, but like I actually genuinely admire that about you and your channel and how you create your content.
The befuddle. I was just saying.
But that's who
I like it.
Tap and shake it.
I was like,
Your turn. I'm sorry.
Do I suffer from
more
imposter
shake.
syndrome? Nope, not in the least. Not in the least. I'm so used to people telling me I can't do something, you won't succeed at this. And I am a petty, petty, petty individual. So I love proving people wrong when they say stuff like that. This is one of the few environments where what I bring to the table has been welcomed. What I bring to the table has been requested. And that makes me feel pretty good. There's never been a time that I have been doing anything with the Moana Nui network or MomoCon where I have felt like somebody thought I couldn't do it. They asked me to do it because they believe that I can do it. And that has just been wonderful. Again, I love the other side of me that likes to be petty and prove people wrong. But this has been one of those times where, oh, you want me to do X, Y, and Z because you think I can do it? Bet, let's go, let's do it. So I can't say that I've ever suffered from imposter syndrome.
All right, so at this point, I want to give y'all a chance to ask me certain questions or ask anybody questions. Because I'm also back here to ask questions to me. So do you have any questions or anything that you want to kind of get out?
I like to say this to all of you gentlemen up here who are creating. You are doing something that a lot of people strive to do but can't do. You are doing something that people plan to do. They've put it in their minds. They put it on a calendar. They put it on their phone that they're going to start doing, but they don't take the first step. If you ever doubt yourself, if you ever think that you're not making an impact, look at what you've created. Look at the people that is impacted and inspired, and look at yourself and say, I did that. That's how you combat imposter syndrome. Because imposters are only trying to be people who really aren't real. You be you, and you're the biggest superstar out there. You shine like a supernova, and you don't let anybody put you down. Keep doing that, and I'll stop asking for kale pectate.
It's good to have you here because you are a positive person. Whenever I see you, you do have positivity. You're fun. But at the same time, you are serious. You know how to encourage people in the right words instead of using words that seem evil.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, my soul.
I appreciate your kind words, what you said.
I-
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So if I should happen to go before you, please be at my funeral.
Here lies a guy with really good hair and stickers and things like that. Good for you. What's his name again? Oh, Pop Tech. Yeah. He was a nice young man. He gave me candy.
Okay, I got a question for everybody since we're doing it. See, I know.
You okay?
I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna survive this. I'm gonna survive. Y'all made me tear up laughing at least 5 times while we're doing this.
Dang,
I
this
haven't
is
even
odd
asked the
number.
question yet. You're already just in pain of what I'm about to ask. I'm sorry. All right. It's a simple question. We all do interviews.
Mhm.
What do you do when something unexpected happens in that interview or it goes off the rail? I'll give you an example. I did an interview with someone last year. I can't remember his name. It was in the press room. And I asked him a simple question: how do you do X, Y, and Z? And this person just sprung up like, "Oh, I'm divorced." And I was like, "That's not what I'm asking you. Like, how do we come back to where we were?" Another example. I have a lawyer. I did a podcast with her. something that was supposed to be 30 minutes turned into 2.5 hours that I had to cut down to 2 hours or however long it was.
Question, was it on your part or on their part?
That the one with the lawyer was both our parts, but but the one with the other person was I was just like, hey, what happened? Are you going through something? Like, you want to talk about it? But yeah, how do you handle derailments in your interviews?
Redirect the car back towards the person. Or let them get it out. At least get enough out to where I can stop them from going out the rail.
Okay.
Because everybody, I work in the medical field, and I work with in the hospital. A lot of people who are older in there, they don't have family to come see them, and so they want somebody just to talk to them. So I have learned over years to give them that moment to talk to somebody, but still not be stuck in that room for hours.
Yeah.
So this, you give them that little bit of time that they need to get that out. It's gonna seem rude, but you kind of gear it back over. That's why.
Yeah, it's been my experience that when people start to unload, at some point there's going to be a natural pause, and in that natural pause, that's where I kind of stick my foot in, and depending on what it is that they are unloading about, I will have some words of sympathy as I then direct them back to whatever our original topic was and try to get them to stay on task so that we can finish what we're trying to do. Mostly because I live and die by my calendar. And if I've got you on the calendar from say 1:30 to 3 or 1:30 to 2, we might run over by, 10 or 15 minutes, but I'm not trying to be there 45 minutes after our end time was supposed to be.
I would say for the shows that I'm a part of with the Moana Nui Network, I am pretty much more times than not the straight man. So I find myself with that responsibility regardless, because if you've seen any shows of Moana Nui, you know that we are all unhinged. You especially about certain things. You don't feign innocence. I'm
not feigning innocence.
I go off the rails too. So but more times than not, I find myself playing like being the responsible adult of the group to be like, hey, let's focus back on topic. And yes, well, I'll let us have fun with it to a point, but try not to get completely off topic where like we're divulging the chaos. As far as the interview,
adult.
which is often scary because I say if I'm the voice of reason, then something's definitely wrong. But I have to be that sometimes. I will say as far as the interview, I haven't really had that experience. I would say, do y'all remember Baby Beard from last year?
Baby Beard?
It was. I know some people in the audience do, but Baby Beard is a oh gosh, is a white guy and two young Japanese girls.
Oh, I need that interview from last year. I'm sorry.
Okay, so they were high energy last year, and no question that was asked got a simple 30-second response. It looked like it was about to run off because the guy at the center of the group is pretty much just, I don't know, Mountain Dew, extra caffeine times 10 with speed and some other, uppers like. I was like, whoa, okay, this is going to be one of those interviews.
Think Macho Man Randy Savage, but sitting down for an interview.
Okay.
Nah, more than that. It was like Savage, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah,
like
Ultimate. That seemed like more Ultimate Warrior.
But I mean,
Sorry, I meant Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
I meant
Randy Savage was like.
I get it. So yeah, that was probably the most.
Oh, meth. It was meth. That's what it was.
If you're out there watching this, we are not saying it to disparage you. We're saying it because you are very high energy.
Yes. And look, it was a fun interview, but at some points it was like, oh wait, where is this going? Where's this answer going? But it was definitely one of the funner interviews. I know funner's not a word, but that's all I've got.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It was one of the funner interviews from last year. So we love Baby Beard.
So I'm talking about things on track. I was told that we have to go ahead and end things up because we can keep talking all night.
This is
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't yell at me. I know what I'm doing.
Closing words. Short. Mark. 2 sentences.
Oh.
And a period.
Right. Right.
Don't forget that.
Do I really go on that long?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Am I worse than Carnell Holly?
I'm not even looking at you do that anymore.
Yo,
No, I'm
we
just
chucking,
messing with you, I'm
we
just
chucking
messing with you.
cannonballs up here, y'all.
I'm just saying, like,
Hey,
bruh. Okay.
What's that?
In case you put an eye out.
If you've never been to MomoCon, you definitely need to come. Whether you're a volunteer, whether you're a guest attending the show, this is definitely a show to come visit. Watch the MomoCon social media feeds, watch the website, watch all of it, especially for the press sessions, because they're going to be fun, they're going to be energetic, and you will hate yourself if you miss them.
I got something to piggyback on that. Yes. As far as being in a press capacity, definitely submit to MomoCon. Being able to cut your teeth on doing press content. Again, preference quality. May not have to worry about the numbers, but consistency, quality, and really focusing on yourself to be diverse and stand out to do your thing at MomoCon.
I'd say just do it. For all of y'all who are just sitting there, like, I wish I could be doing this, I wish I could be doing that. Like, we've been sitting up for almost 2-3 hours. I mean, it feels like it because we've been in all these interviews and everything.
Yeah, we have. I see what time it is.
Yeah, but
And a period.
I had fun. These guys are great, despite what you see on camera. Press is amazing. It's a certain level of con experience you will never get as a general con attendee.
That
We
part.
get so many like behind the scenes little stories and things that you won't get to see or ever know about. So yeah,
Okay, that was like 2 paragraphs in a period.
there's a semicolon there.
Boo.
Yeah, I go
Hey,
ahead.
you got, so,
As a first timer, I will say apply. If you want to come over here and create content, if you want to do press, have the opportunity to talk with creators, perhaps some people that are well known, go for it. The worst answer will be no, but the best answer will be welcome to MomoCon.
And don't do it like a month or less from gone. You're gonna get it out.
I would just say go to a con as on both sides. Go as a guest and then go to work behind the scenes, whether it's security, media, volunteer work, setup. You'll experience two different sides of the same thing and find out what works for you. If that leads to you creating content, congratulations. If it leads you to continue wanting to work behind the scenes because you meet a group of like-minded, crazy individuals, even better.
I like that. I like that. Definitely do other stuff like volunteer. Oh, I got it. Gerber, Gerber.
thank you all for taking part in this. We have to try this again if Dana allows us after all this.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
It is our mother who keeps us in line.
Big sister.
Yeah, big sister.
Good times.
Hello, everybody.
You all are
You okay over there?